Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going In Raw podcast, because Joey Janela always goes in.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going In Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick-butt show called Steve and Larson's Going In Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Want to give a big thanks to Adam Blampier and everybody at Parts Fun Known for having me on Quizzlemania today. Shout out to Denise Salcedo, the wonderful Denise, made it so that I didn't come into last place. So that was great. And hats off to Tempest, the scariest figure in professional wrestling today.
Man.
With his knowledge. It was
See
a
you later,
tsunami.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Hello, Tempest. So, for those who, sorry, spoiler alert, haven't seen it yet. He did really well. Sean Ross Sapp also did really well. And shout out to Queen of the Ring and, of course, Ollie for the wonderful time today over there.
Hey,
I am mentally wiped.
That's what Quizzlemania will do to you. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. You tried your best. You tried your damnedest. And for that, I'm proud of you, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Yeah.
When you run to a force of nature, there's only so much you can do, you know?
It's true. It's totally true. It was something else. No, it was a blast. Man, this is something I wanted to say during the show, but I just didn't have a chance to because, they're reading those super chats so quickly during the post show. I didn't want to get anybody's way or whatever. But I really love the fact that, Adam and Parts Fun Known, they bring on people like Denise, like Tempest, like Little Nugget, Louis Dangour. They bring those guys on, and it's sort of like you and I have been doing this for 5 years now. Like you got guys like Solid Monster been doing it for like 10 years. You got Brian Zane's been doing it for a long time now. Mm-hmm. And so you sort of start to see the future of what we do, whatever this is. Mm-hmm. You see that start to foment. And Parts Fun Known gives such great, Quizzlemania gives such a great platform for the people that y'all are going to be seeing break news, do interviews for a long time to come. And I think it's a really wonderful thing that Quizzlemania is doing, giving a platform to some really awesome people in the community who are just making the community even more awesome.
Agreed. 100%.
I got to give a shout out to Alex, Queen of the Ring. Every Sunday morning, her and the Sheenom have the Church of Joshi here on the Twitch. And it's a really great place to learn about Joshi wrestling. They're on for a couple hours, spotlight a particular wrestler or a particular series of matches. It's a really great watch. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff that is like the future of what we do, man. It's really terrific.
Yep. Totally. 100%. Some programming notes before we get into the rundown of AEW Dynamite tonight. Our interview with Rocky Romero, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson went up today. It's a lot of fun. If you have not checked it out, please do so. Again, great time talking to those fellas. And thank you to them for giving us a half hour of their time to talk and Shop Mania 2. Also, it's still Pledge Week. So tomorrow we got some gameplay stuff coming up, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it Among Us?
Among Us Part 3 is going live tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. For everybody can take a look at that.
Free gratis for everybody. And then Friday, I'm going to the vaults. Trying to find an old school 10 for the win that's just perfect for the week.
Good.
So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. Before we kick off Dynamite, our Dynamite recap, I want to bring this up really quick because I've seen some people mention in the chat. I saw Shawn.
You're talking about Tony Khan's tweet, right?
What's the problem with it's a tweet? He's
a promoter. He's promoting a show.
He's a promoter who's super passionate about his show. We are both very lucky to have something that we're pretty passionate about. Like it'd be difficult to do this if we weren't passionate about it. I really love.
Man, If I didn't love wrestling, I'd be able to sit through most Raws.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's a special thing, and I know he's the son of a billionaire, and he's a millionaire. But this is something that obviously Tony Khan is very passionate about. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up the guy's ass. I don't know him, but to throw out a tweet saying, "Man, I'm really excited about this. This is really great." That's awesome. That's great. And who cares? It was PAC. I marked out. I don't know. Maybe I'm a dullard. My performance in Quizzlemania today. Maybe that. I loved it. And I didn't expect it. I really
Here's
didn't.
the thing. It's not only the return to PAC. Apparently, Shaquille O'Neal's going to step foot in the wrestling ring against Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. I mean, look, am I into that? No. But I think it's great that the promoter of the show is.
Shaq is great.
I love
Shaq's
Shaq.
entertaining.
No, I love Shaq. And I think he's great. That segment was kind of a cluster tonight, but that's fine. That's okay.
It went on a bit long, yeah.
I don't know what Tony Khan exactly was referencing. If he was referencing PAC or Shaq, I don't know. And I don't really care. It didn't alter my enjoyment of the show.
No, zero.
If you don't I see so much pettiness with people. Well, why would he do that? It's not the balance of what is that? Just don't follow the guy. Don't follow the guy.
Man. He's hyping his show.
Don't follow the guy if you have issues with what he's trying to promote. It's just I don't know. It gets under my skin when people are like, why are you doing that? I don't know. Anyways, Dynamite time felt kind of like a season premiere, didn't it? It had new graphics.
New graphics. They even use a new font for the lower thirds.
Aesthetically speaking.
Condensed font.
Aesthetically speaking, I'm on board with everything except for the fonts that they were using.
And here's the thing, because the font, since it's so condensed, it's so tightly packed together, especially for me, because I watch it on my laptop and it's 17-inch screen, and I got half the screen for notes and half the screen. I mean, thankfully, I know who everybody is. Otherwise, I'd be like, I can't read what this says.
What? Bangman Page? What's that?
It's so tightly packed together there. I mean, just aesthetically speaking, the font looks perfectly fine, but it's just kind of hard to read on television.
The one that looks like a simpleton font is the one that they use for the big match graphic, like the big white. It's sort of rough. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like a glorified version of Impact, but I'm a huge nerd for fonts and design and stuff. I thought otherwise I really like the package. Number one, the intro was awesome.
Yeah, that looked great.
And the packaging, the color scheme of a really, really, really deep dark blue and a dark red, I thought looked really great. I was a really big fan of that.
Yeah, agreed. I guess the two most noteworthy events, of course, to top it off, to end the show, we saw the return of PAC to have a stare down. We were hoping to get a bit more. Didn't happen with Eddie Kingston, following a really fun main event between Penta and Fenix, which basically saw. I literally saw Eddie Kingston kick Fenix out of the ring.
Did
not see that coming.
Yeah.
So it's great to have PAC back. He's one of our favorites. He's a favorite here in Going in Raw. He's awesome. And he's returning right back to action next week. So I wonder if he's going to be around for kind of blocks of shows. He'll be on for 4 to 6 weeks. I would not be surprised if he's on up until apparently they're trying to make this December 2nd episode of Dynamite huge. We'll get the reason why later. I wouldn't be surprised if we get PAC versus Eddie at that show.
Yeah,
maybe PAC will kind of disappear for a month because he'll go home, quarantine, hang out, come back here, have to quarantine again, and then be back on the show.
I kind of feel like the return of PAC almost buried one of the more important aspects of things. Let's talk about this, man. So like you said, December 2nd?
Yeah.
December 2nd, they're aiming to make a big show. It has to be, you would think it'd be themed somehow. That's about 3 weeks away. What's that? Yeah, Beach Break, exactly. December to December. Mox versus Kenny Omega for the title.
Now, we had a conversation whether they're going to wait till Revolution, 3+ months from Full Gear, or if they're going to have a super show between. Evidently they're going the super show route. I guess you got to ask yourself, is this gonna, the timing of the match, is that inform us at all about how it's going to go?
I mean, that's obviously what we got to talk about now because it does, right? Like, it's not going to be on a pay-per-view. They didn't announce that it was going to be a special themed show. If they had said, hey, this is, you know, a barcade or something like that, you know, if they had announced some WCW pay-per-view name for it, or some twist therein, maybe I would be like, oh, okay, they're treating it like a pay-per-view, but they're not. So that gives us 3 options, basically. A wonk finish, which on Dynamite is possible. Mox retains.
A Mox win, or Kenny win, yeah.
Or Kenny wins. But, like, what's the most... out of all those, the 2 most likely have got to be wonk finish and...
Kenny wins.
No, Mox wins.
Oh, Mox wins. Okay.
Yeah. Or unless they're going to do the thing. I didn't see the Hangman Page bit on BTE, but I heard it's really sad. And he wasn't on the show tonight. I mean, it's possible that he can come out and ruin the match for Kenny.
Yeah.
That's possible.
R. Lopez Ortiz says time limit draw. It's a possibility. Hip Hop Hippo in chat says Mox is going to Wrestle Kingdom full stop. But I guess, you know, how AEW contracts typically go. And Tony Khan seems like he's flexible, but I don't know if he'd alter booking for the purpose of allowing wrestlers to wrestle for another promotion. Mm-hmm. Like if he had plans or designs on Mox being champion longer, I don't think if Mox went up to him and says, hey, I need to drop the belt so I can wrestle Kenta at Wrestle Kingdom, he'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm not saying it would happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't think Tony Khan would drop all his booking plans just so Mox could do one particular thing outside of his company.
That's a good point, but you also made this point before. It's one thing for him to go and do something. It's another thing for him to go as AEW champion and lose.
Yeah.
So I would say
if the idea is they want Mox to drop the belt to Kenny at some point, and maybe they were going to, you know, book it out till February for Revolution, but then, you know, maybe Mox is like, hey, I got this U.S. title, IWGP U.S. title. I need to drop. I need to be at Wrestle Kingdom. And if it was already in the cards for Mox to lose the belt, maybe Tony Khan would say, all right, well, we can just bump it up, you know, a couple months. Mm-hmm. We'll have a supersized wild card final episode of Dynamite. We could do it there. It's good for ratings. It'll draw eyeballs, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dang MQ also says he has to quarantine for 2 weeks once he goes to Japan. I don't know, man. Maybe that spells title loss for Mox. Maybe that's the case. That could be. I mean, they've really made Hangman into like a major. I'm sorry, Kenny into a major thing lately. And you know, he's got that cock of the walk attitude. And you know, Mox is with all this talk about, you know, I came here, I didn't really care about having the title. I just wanted to snap limbs. But now, you know, I see it's a real responsibility. That sounds like a guy who could lose his title. Sure. So, you know, remains to be seen. I do think that they would have to like really theme it up for it to matter. Although at the same time, you know, it's Kenny Omega. He's sort of a bad guy now. You know, it's not like you need the fans there to pop big for that, you know?
Yeah. And I hope they give it minimum of half hour.
Oh, that, absolutely, yeah.
That PAC Kenny match that was on Dynamite that went a half hour, that was great.
Yeah. So anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this. I'm going to use the Larson notes today.
There you go.
Copious, detailed Larson notes. It kicked
probably
off
overly copious.
with Brian Cage versus Matt Sydal.
I'm not sure what the point of Taz's promo really was.
What is the point of any Taz promo, really? What
was
the deal?
Technique by Taz, I get that. Usually he just goes out there and hypes up Team Taz, but this, like he was putting over Matt Sydal. Is he trying to recruit him? Because obviously Will Hobbs ain't joining.
What was the deal with the very end of this whole segment? Was it this one? No, never mind. It was the Cody bit when Will Hobbs comes out as if he was like, you know, he was like, oh man, I got to pinch this crap off because they're literally out there right now. He came in literally when everybody had already been run off. Oh, and there's Will Hobbs too. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
It's like he missed his cue or something. Anyways, yeah, it was like Taz was talking trash about Darby, but also Cody, because apparently Taz is trying to pivot to Cody, kind of. But he was talking trash about Darby by using Matt Sydal's example, someone who respects others and is therefore well respected backstage. But otherwise, he said they share a lot of the same characteristics. They're tenacious, pugnacious, so on and so forth. They both have huge victories over huge stars. Darby, of course, over Cody. And I'm guessing Matt Sydal as Evan Bourne beat Chris Jericho at some point in WWE. So apparently WWE is now AEW canon.
Yeah, well, Jericho referenced WWE. Jericho referenced WWE a lot with the Mike Tyson stuff.
Obviously. And so he says, neither of them are jokes, even though Taz just spent the majority of this promo talking trash about Darby. He says Brian Cage isn't a joke either. Match finally begins. Cage versus Sydal. I just realized I didn't finish watching this. Let me fast forward to the finish. I have like 4 minutes left in it. There's Ricky Starks promo too.
Yeah, there's a Ricky Starks promo. This is like the worst day to...
I know. I was like, Steve has Steve notes. It's not a huge deal.
Oh, no. It's
so Matt Sydal jumps off top rope, catches some drill claw. Brian Cage wins.
So Evan Bourne took on
and then Ricky Starks has a promo.
Chris Jericho. This in 2010, in June of 2010 at least. Oh, wait a second. Here we go. Cagematch.net. They had 2 matches, and the winner was it does not say. I don't know why it wouldn't say. Oh, here we go. Let's see here. What is this? Oh, winner Evan Bourne. Okay, so Evan Bourne won at least one of them, maybe 2 of them. I don't know.
I was listening to Ricky Starks' promo. He said Team FTW's presence will be felt tonight.
Oh, okay.
I'll make sure I got at least the major beats. Anyways, next, the promo that I did watch, Cody Rhodes. This was a little all over the place. Some of it I found really entertaining, though. So first, he comes out, congratulates Darby on his win. He says he and Arn won't be seeking a rematch. First, he wants to expunge another loss from his record against MJF. And then a woman who we have not seen, I don't think, in AEW, at least not on Dynamite, walks to the ring, grabs the mic from Cody. And she asks Cody, how can you lie to the people? She introduces herself. Her name is Jade Cargill. She says she's a total package, and then she flexes.
According to Sean Rossap, she had a tryout at WWE not that long ago.
Okay.
And she impressed before he passed Casey Michael. Or he was a fan of hers.
Yeah. She says she's been sitting on the sidelines studying her competition and studying Cody. And she said, I heard you say that you were a giant killer, but there's nothing giant about you. And she says, I know a real giant, and a slick statement like what you made, Cody, could echo loud enough to wake this giant. So next time you feel the need to think out loud, she suggested he keeps that shit to himself. And she says she's nothing to be played with. She leaves the ring. It says, Cody, by the way, congratulations on your name. But then this giant that she knows is a real star, and his name is Shaq.
Shaq Daddy. Shackton.
So this brings Brandy out. And Brandy was on fire.
Yeah. The whole, what is she? The CE, what is she? The
Chief Branding Officer.
Yeah, the Chief Brandy Officer.
This was great.
That was all. That was done with. She came out with hot fire. I gotta let my.
She came out as Cody's wife. She says, "Who told you it was open mic night? You're in my house, smacking your gums about my man, and now Brandy is Jade's problem." Says, "Don't talk like that to Cody. Tell you she tells her to leave unless she calls for her, and then calls her a heifer."
Yeah. Ouch.
So Brandy turns around, and then Jade kind of smacks Brandy on the butt. Jerry Lynn, refs come out, separate them. And then to make this whole segment a little more convoluted, why not add Team Taz to it? Brian Cage hits the ring, powerbombs Cody. Ricky Starks is in there too. Darby comes down from the cheap seats, because we saw him earlier, down to make the save. Hits Starks, because he had a blazer with a bunch of thumbtacks on it, which I guess the pointy side was pointing out, which I don't know how that was comfortable when he was sitting up at the cheap seats.
Yeah.
Anyways, he hits one of those springboard coffin drops off the rope on Ricky Starks, and then does like a backward splash in the corner to Cage with the jacket. And then after Team Taz leaves, that's when Will Hobbs comes out.
Yeah, and he rips off his shirt, and they're like, "Oh, he's ready to fight," and he's like, "Oh, I didn't even get a chance to wipe my ass." Yeah, I mean this was a mess. It was pretty, like, Brandy was really entertaining here. The Hobbs thing was funny to me. Still, my biggest pet peeve, and this is how you know I like AEW. My biggest pet peeve with AEW is they need to skip Darby Allin's intro when he does a run-in, because he's coming down those stairs and it's doom 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 and
It's the bass playing. Yeah, I know.
It goes forever.
It works well when he's making his entrance to the ring, because it builds anticipation when the song hits. But when he makes a run, it just needs to hit. I understand.
It just needs to hit, and that's been that way forever.
I mean, like, I think if this segment was cut by like 90 seconds or maybe 2 minutes, it might have been much sharper, better.
It was a bad segment. If you're going to introduce Shaq, you have Cody. He comes out with the Nightmare Family. He cuts a promo congratulating Darby Allin, but he says, whatever he's going to do next, he starts to bring it up. And instead of that, Shaq and like an entourage comes out. You make a big thing about it,
Yeah, it was interesting. They had a proxy for Shaq.
Yeah.
Why not just have Shaq there? I know.
And if you're going to have...
commentary made a point of saying that Shaq was there backstage at Full Gear.
Yeah. And if you're going to have a proxy, like, I know, I'm just throwing a name out there, Teddy Long. I know he still has some sort of deal with WWE. I mean, he was just on programming. Maybe it's just an appearance thing. I don't know. I mean, he was at Talking Shop Mania, the first one. But you have somebody that the fans know. I mean, I don't know of anybody in WWE that, like, I mean, because Shaq has done a couple small things in WWE. I don't know who you could bring related to that necessarily, but somebody that the fans know that can immediately be like, oh, this is signaling something big, as opposed to somebody who nobody really knows. So yeah, it was a mess, but AEW, to me, part of the charm is that when they do things that really should be scripted more, it comes off sloppy. And to me, that's still entertaining, because it's like, oh, that's cute. It's like, oh, they're still trying.
This wasn't boring bad or bad. It was like entertainingly bad.
Yeah. It wasn't go away bad. It was, oh, this is a mess bad. Yeah. So after that
we had go ahead.
A John Moxley interview. Did he seem, sorry, I was thinking, not pausing. Did he seem tired? I'm not tired. The promo just seemed, I don't know, it seemed kind of formulaic.
I wonder if this was shot after his match, either after or before his match at Full Gear.
Oh, that's possible. That's totally possible. Yeah.
Because otherwise he was not to be found on the show. So maybe it's a situation where it's like, hey, Mox, we need to drop a promo or an interview.
That could totally
for Dynamite before you hop on your plane, get out of here, or before you have your match. And he did it, and so he didn't have to make the flight. Yeah, all the way out from Vegas just to do an interview. Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
So he said something occurred to him during his Full Gear match. He was going through enormous amounts of pain, and as much as he wanted to say the words "I quit," he couldn't. When he first came to AEW, he didn't want to be a champ. He just wanted to snap limbs, hurt people. But he grew up and realized Saturday that the belt represents like kids who get made fun of for being a wrestling fan.
It was like you listened to Corey Graves' commentary when Aleister Black debuted. This belt's for all the blue collar working folks out there. Yeah,
it's also for the freaks and also the white collar people. So anyways, he says he won't quit. He can't quit. He says he danced with Kenny before and won, but to beat him twice would take a really special person. He says, that's me. I'm the best wrestler on the planet. And if anybody could beat Kenny twice,
PWI says that. So
yeah, he's number one in the top 50. And then they announced they're going to do the title match on December 2nd.
Yep, that was pretty surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty surprising. After that, man, this match was a lot of fun and bloody.
There was a lot of blood in this match. Bloody. The Blade lived up to his name.
Yeah, man, he bladed hard. Bunkhouse match, Butcher and the Blade versus Natural Nightmares. I was not anticipating this amount of blood on basic cable programming. At least it wasn't a Hollywood production. Because early on, QT Marshall got busted open from taking a guitar over the head. And then later on, I don't know what got the Blade busted up. It happened during a picture-in-picture commercial break. But he was bleeding buckets. His face is about the color of my sleeve here.
It was
And it was
really
pouring all down his face and down his chest. And like both QT and Dustin had white natural nightmare shirts when they walked in the ring.
Yeah.
They were various shades of red when they left because they were both just covered in blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was gross, but it was fun.
It was fun. There was a lot of fun bits here. I like the bulldog off the stage onto like whatever the plywood thing was.
Yeah.
That Dustin dropped the butcher with. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on here. In the end, let's see here. QT Marshall hits a steel chain assisted diamond cutter on the butcher. Goes for one on Blade, but Blade kicks him in the nuts. QT forearms Blade into Bunny. She goes through a table.
Yeah.
And Dustin hits Blade with the cowbell. QT hits a diamond cutter. And they get the win. It's kind of surprising to me that the Butcher and the Blade took a loss here, but good for QT and Dustin. I'm glad that
Well, given the story, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm, yeah, sure. Credit cards.
It makes sense. Credit card, such an important aspect of this whole story. Because now QT has to pay all that off. He can't claim fraud. He willingly gave her his cards to Bunny.
Yep, he was thinking with his dingus, not his head.
So after that, we had kind of a combination Matt Hardy promo, Elite Deletion recap. He said something to the effect of, I used to have no respect for Sammy, but after Elite Deletion, I now respect him. He said, but Sammy had to be deleted, broken. Sammy's going to become an even huger star because of Elite Deletion, and then advises them, don't squander what I gave you.
I mean, it'd been nice if Hardy could have given Sammy a win, but okay. After that,
I kind of feel like that Sammy should have been off TV for a few weeks.
I agree. Like, he got killed off.
Or at least dumped in the lake of reincarnation.
This next bit was good. Shockingly, MJF did not take up too much of my time. This is actually, and it was pretty funny. So it was MJF's Inner Circle Induction Ceremony. They have the podium out there. They love the podium. He takes the podium, introduces the Inner Circle. Sammy's not there. And he's like, whoa, where's Sammy? Well, that's okay. We'll worry about that later. Sammy knows we're here. Then he introduces MJF and Wardlow. Says, we got two new members of the Inner Circle coming on. MJF takes the podium. He apologized for being emotional. Says, men can cry too. He says, but it's been a long road to get here. He's been a wrestler for 5 years. And when he started, his father only gave him a loan of $1 million, but he made it work. The 5 years line is great because it is crazy to have gotten as far as he has in only 5 years.
In only 5 years.
So then he says he's written a poem for everybody. And he says, I feel like Santana and Ortiz are going to dig it. And it's basically just a Drake song. He plagiarized a Drake song.
Started at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. And Ortiz finally calls him out. He's like, what are you talking about? It's Drake. And he's like, I wrote this myself. He says MJF shouldn't be in the Inner Circle. Jericho says, hey, don't yell at him. It's on me. I laid out the groundwork for this. MJF beat me. He's in. Him and Wardlow are in. I know this business better than anything. And with MJF and Wardlow, the Inner Circle will be stronger than ever. This is the new Inner Circle. We got to make it work. And MJF said, hey, but this is the only cause for celebration. It's your birthday. So balloons, confetti rain down. They start singing happy birthday. And you see, number one, throughout the entire thing, you see Wardlow and Hager just like eyeballing each other, which is great. Even in the picture they did afterwards, like it's on social media, you see Wardlow and Hager side-eyeing each other, which I love that. So they all sing happy birthday. And the great thing is you see Ortiz, and he's very reluctantly singing happy birthday because he's not happy with any of this stuff.
No, not at all.
Wardlow.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I just punctuate with this I really, really appreciate that, we have kind of complained about the status of LAX and how like they don't really they haven't made a lot of traction within their division. But I do really like that they seem to be on mildly separate pages here, and Ortiz is allowing they're allowing some layers to be added to Ortiz's character with him not wanting MJF, Santana being okay with it, but also understanding that, hey, this is my partner, and in the end he's probably like, my ride or die. But I really appreciate that aspect of it.
Yeah, definitely. So during the singing of Happy Birthday, Wardlow leans over to MJF. It says something. MJF's like, hold on. I got an urgent announcement. They're going to Vegas next week. and it's on MJF, and then he resumes singing Happy Birthday.
Yep.
So this should be interesting, going to Vegas in the time of a pandemic to shoot a rousing buddy road trip.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how they pull that off.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see.
I don't know. After that, we had a Young Bucks FTR recap, followed by Young Bucks interviews with Alex Marvez. He's nervous to approach their locker room because last time he did that, he had a super kick. They opened the door. No super kick this time. He asked them, what's next? Nick says winning the title is the biggest accomplishment of their careers, and the world wants to see a rematch. But then Matt says, but before that, we're on the lookout looking for new talent, fresh opponents. It says he got a message from somebody about Top Flight. They're high flyers, but they're also brothers, like other tag team you might know, Young Bucks. And so next week, Top Flight versus Young Bucks.
After that, we had Shawn Spears versus Scorpio Sky. It was announced that next week we're going to get Cody and Darby Allin versus Team Taz. And this sort of like, Shawn Spears looks, by the way, he looks great these days.
Oh, I
like
know.
he's in tip-top shape.
He put on weight since leaving WWE.
He's put on some muscle, and his outfits look like nice and clean and good. He's looking pretty good. But in the end, he used the old glove and the
slug.
The slug. There you go. To get in. Scorpio Sky sold the crap out of that punch.
Yeah,
too.
I like how they set that up. So Scorpio Sky is going for TKO. Shawn Spears escapes that. Sky puts on a sharpshooter. So while he's doing that, Tully goes and puts something in the corner. It's like a piece of cloth or a sack or something. He puts that there, and he kind of goes about 90 degrees around the other side of the ring. After Spears gets to the ropes. So Spears gets the ropes. Scorpio Sky has to break the hold. Tully gets on the apron and starts distracting the ref. And so while he's doing that, Spears is getting the slug from underneath that piece of fabric.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tully throws essentially a decoy slug in the ring. Scorpio Sky sees it, grabs it, throws it, and while he turns around from doing that, bang, Spears hits him. I guess bang because the slug's on the palm. Bang, hits him with the slug, pins him, gets the win.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, as soon as he gets the pin, he takes the slug out, puts it in his trunks. And I actually like how the ref was like, "Let me see that glove." Like he's on to it. He knows that's probably how he won, but by the time he inspects it, slug is gone.
Yeah, and cameras did a good job telling that story as well. That I would imagine that could be tricky for TV production to capture every moment where he does this. He puts it in his pants, gives it to Tully. I really want this to turn into something for Scorpio Sky. I just don't know. I mean, I said this months and months and months and months ago. When people say, hey, who's the first person that's going to leave AEW for WWE? Right now, my number one pick for who probably has a case to do that is Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, maybe.
After that, Dasha thinks she has an interview with Kenny, but she doesn't because he's gone. Marvez is on the scene trying to track him down. He does as Kenny's leaving, and he's on the phone. And Kenny sort of talks about Mox having something that Kenny wants. Taking that title from Mox is what he took from him being the face of pro wrestling. Everybody's like, hey, where's the cleaner, the best bout machine, the best professional wrestler in the world? He mentions his time in New Japan, of course. Thinks that he's proven that he's never left, or he's ready to prove that he never left. He's just ready to reassume that role. He's ready to be the best in the world. They'll have a match for the first time ever because he says, I looked at the record books and me and Mox have never had a proper one-on-one match with real rules in a real ring. So for the first time, we'll see what happens.
I like they brought up that the lights out match was unsanctioned.
It was an unsanctioned match. It's 0-0.
Yep. I like that. I like that. So Kenny could, I guess, rightly say, Mox, you never beat me.
Yep.
Even though Mox has. After that, we had Tay Conti versus Red Velvet. Good back and forth. I guess the story beat moment was Anna Jay. She accompanied Tay Conti to the ring. This goes back to the Deadly Draw tournament where they were tag partners. Even though Anna Jay is in Dark Order, she still hangs out is friends with Tay Conti. Tay Conti apparently has not joined Dark Order.
Not yet.
So towards the end, Anna Jay slips a chair into the ring, and she's imploring Tay Conti to use it. Tay Conti thinks about it, kicks the chair out of the ring, turns around, eats a leg lariat. Red Velvet gets 2. And then Tay Conti hits like a ripcord pump kick, puts Red Velvet in the gory special right into a knee strike to get the win. And then Anna Jay comes in and kind of like gives Tay Conti the business a little bit. Why don't you use the chair? Whatever. They work it out. Anna Jay raises her hand. But while she's doing that, you see Stu Grayson and the rest of the Dark Order lurking in the tunnel.
Milling about.
I like that they're using lurking in the tunnel as a story beat now.
Yeah, that's a thing now. Hangman did it.
Yep.
Tay looks good in the ring, man. Like, she looks improved from the NXT days. I haven't really seen much of her stuff in AEW as of yet. After that, Marvez interviews Jericho, the Inner Circle. They're all going to Vegas. And as MJF starts to talk, Sammy walks in, and he was like, "Hey, man, I was at the beach. That's what MJF's email said." And he was like, no, I sent you a second email to meet here. Jericho's like, yeah, everybody's here. Sammy's like, yeah, I know that, but I didn't get a second email. And MJF's like, hey, yeah, I sent you a second email. So everybody ends up leaving, except for MJF and Sammy. And MJF's like, hey, man, I did send that second email. And he gets out. He's like, here's your ticket for Vegas on me. Sammy's not happy about that.
No, he says, I didn't get a second email.
I didn't get a second email. So next week, we have Kip Sabian versus Orange Cassidy. We've got the Young Bucks versus Top Flight. We've got, as the aforementioned, Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks.
Yes.
And then the Inner Circles romping in Las Vegas.
Yes, and that brings us to our main event. Well, almost. Eddie Kingston had a promo.
This dude just burned it down, man. He just burned it down. He was broken in that match. Now he just wants to see everything burn. He's starting with Fenix and Penta.
I know. Everything except Penta. Penta's his best friend, after all.
That's true.
For now. Anyway, so he talks about Mox making him say, I quit, something he said he would never say, but that's something he's got to deal with. But he'll never stop. And he said he will be world champion. On to more pressing matters. Next, Penta versus Fenix. He hypes it up. 2 of the greatest luchadors to ever do it. That's next. And I stepped away for a moment, came back, and when I walked back in, Penta basically had Fenix's mask basically off his head.
Yeah, this felt
it was like I walked into a AAA match.
That's exactly what it felt like. I mean, these guys
for
were
the
going,
blood, because
these guys
AAA has been a lot more blood.
Full AAA. I mean, yeah, that's usually what, if you have like a maskerous situation in AAA, usually you still can't get a good look at the face because there's so much blood there.
Yep.
So that's not what I clearly know what Pentagon looks like now. Clearly, and also
Fenix,
because as soon as he starts ripping it off, you see the entirety of his face. So that was weird. Pentagon, his facials are so hilarious.
So damn
to me.
good,
man. He's hilarious. But I mean, this was a really, really terrific match.
That bit, gosh darn it, where he hits the package pile driver on the apron. That looked like it sucked for Fenix. Mm-hmm. And then he gives Fenix like a beat and a half. Bang, destroyer off the apron. Mm-hmm. That was ridiculous. Yeah. And Penta actually dominated for a good portion of this match.
Yeah.
Fenix got some stuff in. Eventually, he makes a comeback, and he rips off basically all of Pentagon's mask, too. Mm-hmm. And there's a good bit where they're essentially having a hockey fight while holding on to what's left of each other's masks. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So after the package pile driver bit, destroyer on the apron, Penta puts Fenix back in the ring. Another package pile driver to get the win. Eddie grabs the mic, puts over the match, tells Penta he did it. He's the best. And then he turns to Fenix and kicks him out of the ring.
It's so like it's not like he did it violently. He just sort of like he was already near the edge of it. He just sort of dismissively swept him aside with his feet.
And that's how he talked about him. Mm-hmm. He kind of like, it's like, oh, and Fenix here, and he kicked him out. But then he said, I'm proud of you. You don't need to deal with this dead weight anymore. You don't need your brother.
Yeah.
And then here comes PAC. PAC is back. Mm-hmm. He has a mic with him. He asked Eddie if he thought he'd be gone forever. He says, the bastard's back, and Eddie has made a very big mistake. And then rather than let them fight, get a bunch of refs holding them back, and they kind of break free a little bit and get a couple shots hit, but not really throw down, because that's probably happened on December 2nd, because next week we're getting PAC versus the Blade. Assuming the Blade's wounds heal from busting himself open.
Yeah, no kidding. He said, "Hey, you bastard." No, he said, "Hey, you scumbag. The bastard's back."
Yeah, he called the scumbag. That was great.
Hey, you scumbag.
PAC is awesome. I'm so happy he's back.
Oh, me too. Super happy. So I just put up a question thread because again, I'm on smooth brain mode.
That happens, man.
Yeah. But let's see here.
We got plenty of questions at Twitch here. Mr.
I'm
Dubs
sure
asks,
we do. Yeah.
do you think Shaq could get over in a half shirt? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Shaq is over. He's already over.
Yeah.
He's already over. It would not be a good look for him, though.
Yeah. ANJ Network, both shows disappointed me immensely. I get that Shaq was backstage at Full Gear, but no way is it going to be actual Shaq that challenges Cody, not even close.
Oh, that'd be awesome if it was like a fake Shaq. But I think he means Shaq's going to be, like, he's going to have a proxy. I don't know about that. I don't know.
I mean, Shaq's a wrestling fan. He showed interest in actually wrestling.
He's been in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal before.
Yeah.
So maybe he is. Maybe WWE is just too much red tape.
They were trying to do a match between him and
Big Show.
Yeah.
Christian Womble, if FTR is really gone for a while, who takes it off the Young Bucks? I'd love to see Private Party get a run. Also, Power Rank top 5 Shaq AEW Dream matches. I don't have any Shaq AEW Dream matches, so I'm not going to do that. But I would love to see. I mean, if the Young Bucks have a really long run, and they go back to being like pure baby faces, then I'd want it to be Butcher and the Blade. I think they're tops. I think they're terrific.
XLAX.
Oh yeah,
I kind of feel like the feud with the Young Bucks is kind of, I don't know, it just kind of ended. And I feel like there's more there.
I think I feel you on that one.
Hugh Longheavy says that guitar was at it too. It turns out it was really sharp. It's a music joke.
That's good. Sharp. I get it. Let's see here. Steve Klain, Power Rank top 5 things that could happen in Vegas with the Inner Circle. They all get COVID because we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Probably number one. That's probably number one.
Number one, they all get COVID. There you go.
Snare Freak, is Cody the celebrity wrestler of AEW? Seems that way.
Is he? Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. He's already booked himself to be celebrity guy. Let's see here. Do you think Church Jackson? Do you think they can build a feud with Miro and let's say Kenny to involve a match being fought using the AEW video game? That sounds so. Kenny, no. That sounds like something at this point they would do with Miro, because
definitely something they're going to do on Being the Elite for the BTE title.
Yes, yeah,
100%. Because I felt it could be defended in a sort of competitive endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
You saw this, so we are building to a Kingston family versus Death Triangle thing, right? Hope Penta kills Kingston. Oh, because he sucks. Hot take. Man, Eddie Kingston doesn't suck.
Oh, I think he's great. Thomas Dunnigan. Although it's funny, I saw like a... never mind. Thomas Dunnigan. Who will win custody over the Lucha Bros in the PAC Kingston feud? It's got to be PAC. Well, I don't know. PAC might want to ride by himself, dude.
I honestly think they should split up the Lucha Bros. I know they're great as a tag team, but they're so darn good. They could be huge stars as singles.
They haven't even used them as a tag team at all, so you might as well split them up.
Yep. Ryan Supernova, best in-ring non-wrestling segment of all time.
The what?
Best in-ring non-wrestling segment of all time. We got The Rock, This Is Your Life.
Yeah.
Festival of Friendship.
I mean, technically that is the best because it was the highest rated.
Well, it's the best by one metric, yes.
The only metric that matters. Yeah, Festival of Friendship was really good. Mine would be when Shawn Michaels suggested that Bret Hart was having sex with Sonny.
All right.
That was... Man, things were out of control back then, Larson.
Oh, man.
Things were so out of control.
Maybe that's why WWE has scripts for everybody now.
That could very well be. Well be.
Yeah. Guys would just go out there to say whatever they wanted to.
They would say whatever they wanted
to. Shane's birthday tweet says MJF ghost rights for Drake.
Hey, that's a great idea for a count out or a 10 for the win. Top 10. Well, I mean, I guess it should be shoot. Didn't we like do shoot moments?
Yeah, we did.
Shoot promo moments would be good.
Yeah.
Top 10 most shocking things. Oh man. Because Brett's seeing sunny days. You see Brett's
Heel
dumb
Long
face.
Heavy says apparently Peter Avalon had a heart-shaped bed at ringside tonight. Now that he lost to Brandon Cutler, has he got a new gimmick?
Gigolo.
Or is he doing
Jeffrey Tubin.
I was going to say what we did with Eric Young and We Book Raw.
Oh yeah, auteur, yeah. Adult film cinephile. Yeah, I don't know. I know that the New Yorker fired Jeffrey Tubin, man. I'm bummed about that. They're anti-cranking it. Kind of repressive society we're living in where a guy can't just crank it in peace.
Well, I mean, he was in a meeting with a bunch of other people on Zoom.
That's semantics.
Gareth Nicholas, will Sammy's ticket to Vegas be middle coach or to a completely different city?
I mean, it's a good question. They might reference that. I'm not sure if they can like do much camera work on a plane. I don't think they have the budget for that.
Yeah.
Unless they have. I mean, dude, they did that whole debonair dinner thing.
Oh, dinner debonair, yeah.
Dinner debonair. Maybe they can doll up something, make it look like a plane.
Jorge D says, good job in Quizzlemania, Steve. What would Shaq's AEW theme be? Something from his album.
Yeah, the one where he talked about his stepdad being his real father figure. Or Return to the Shaq.
There you go.
He just redoes Return to the Mac.
Okay. So White Brownie says, let's make some trades. I'm AEW. You're WWE. We got to trade one tag team, one male superstar, and one woman superstar.
Well, you just buried Hangman Page. Can I have him in exchange for Bobby Roode?
No.
Bobby
No.
Roode.
No.
Really?
No way.
Wow. Shocking. I offer up Shinsuke Nakamura
Okay.
and Cesaro
All
in
right.
exchange for
Well, that's a tag team.
PAC and Hangman Page.
I'll trade you Nakamura and Cesaro for XLEX.
I'm the WWE. I don't like tag teams. So I need a tag team of two guys who could be singles guys.
All right.
Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, please. And I
No.
will send you the Forgotten Sons. It's three guys.
No. Rejected.
Wow.
Are there any more tag teams? Oh, how about this? Never mind. I'm trying to think of other tag teams. Here, you like Butcher and the Blade so much. Nakamura and Cesaro for Butcher and the Blade.
No, I'm not going to do that. I like the Butcher and the Blade, but I'm WWE. I don't like tag team wrestling. I need two guys that can be singles guys.
Well, I feel like they could be singles guys. That's what the Blade was in TNA.
I would
Wasn't he?
totally make the Butcher a singles guy.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They're a tag team now, but you would break them up and have a feud, and then you make the Butcher a singles guy.
Yeah.
Deal. All right, that's our tag team deal.
No,
Done.
how about this?
What?
It's a silly gimmick. I was still going to offer you a bum deal. Go ahead. What's your next
I was just to
question?
move on. That's a done deal. That's
Yeah,
a done
yeah.
deal. A male superstar.
Oh, we're still doing this.
Yeah,
all right.
we haven't fulfilled the criteria here, man.
I will send you Jackson Riker. You give me MJF.
No.
But MJF comes with Wardlow.
No. Is that supposed to sweeten the deal? Mm-hmm. No.
Offer me something.
I would like AJ Styles. Who do you want?
QT Marshall.
Deal.
Wait, no. I thought I was doing it. Oh.
Deal. All right, women's division.
Okay.
Who do you want?
Like nobody. You know, Britt Baker.
All right. Bianca Belair.
It's actually a decently even trade. I don't like getting rid of Bianca Belair though.
I
Yeah,
know,
I'll do
she
that.
has-
Sure, I'll do
She
that.
has,
trade.
oh man, I totally won. Totally won. Got Nakamura, Cesaro, AJ Styles, and Bianca Belair. I totally won that.
Yeah, well, I got Jackson Riker still, so I totally win.
Dang MQ, are you guys surprised that AEW didn't have any interest in the Rascals? So apparently they just said that they got kicked out of the Treehouse? Is that what I read on Twitter?
They're gone from Impact.
But they're not done till They have another match.
Possibly.
They stick around until next week's episode.
Sounds maybe, could be, possibly.
Right. Thought I read that somewhere.
But AEW has no interest in them. Is that like?
I don't know. I hadn't heard anything about that. I don't know.
Did somebody say that?
Well, that's what Dang MQ said.
Ooh.
He said, "Are you surprised? Are you guys surprised that AEW didn't have any interest in the Rascals?"
Well, I don't know if they didn't in the
I don't know
first
if they do or don't.
Maggie with the gifted subs. Look at all these gifted
thank
subs.
you.
Stadium Beats, Lionheart 085, Big Martin 562, JT Cav, and El Chapo Jr. Pay it forward, in the words of the Magnifico Bruce Green.
Bruce Green, Black Mega Man said with the bits between the two of you, which would you say is the head of the table?
I feel like we sit on opposite ends of the table and we always crow about each of us. Like you're at one head, I'm at the other head.
It's one of those really long tables.
It's like the Batman table.
Yes.
Yeah. And you sit at one end, I sit at the other end, and we both think we're the head of the table.
Yeah, but neither of us are actually the head of the table.
Right. Exactly. Hood Alex says, I'm legitimately so disappointed that the women's champion still isn't on the damn show. Yeah, they really didn't do anything with her in the.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
they didn't.
Hey, there was a women's. There was a women's division match though.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Mr. Dope says Larson is a dirty traitor. I learned that from fantasy football. And traitor as in TRADER.
Oh, Larson makes moves. You gotta stay on your toes, man. That dude, even being in third place in my league. He's making moves.
Yeah, I'm not content with third place.
Crap, Roethlisberger's out, really? Roethlisberger has COVID?
Well, he's on the reserve list, but I was watching SportsCenter last night. The Steelers seem pretty confident that he'd be able to play this week, assuming he tests negative for the rest of the week.
Wow.
Don't drop him. Hold on to him, especially if he's got a good matchup, because if he tests negative, he'll play on Sunday. But get somebody else just in case. Just check.
I have a backup. I've got Carson Wentz, who.
Oh, he's got a good matchup against the Giants. He'll be fine.
He also underperforms a lot.
Yeah, he's really inconsistent. Just check Sunday morning before 10 o'clock. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Dang MQ says Wrestling Inc. says the Rascals are headed to NXT. Boy, that's going to be that's a crowded field right there.
Yeah. Mr. Dope says he will always get the better deal. Lol. That's what I go for. I'm gonna do the deal that benefits me the most.
Yeah, you're a lot like Trump in that respect. You think that the only good deal. Well, come on, dude. I've seen how much you've read The Art of the Deal. I know that that's your favorite book of all time.
Why are you trying to sully my good name here?
Because it makes me laugh.
Doesn't make me laugh. It's one end of the deal that I'm not getting the better of. No deal.
Vermilion says thoughts on AEW Games announcement. It is in our news brief from today, so check that out. You can find out all about what we think about that.
Yep.
For the YouTube crowd, we're going to be done for the day. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Twitch chat, stay tuned for a little bit. We'll hang out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steven Larson.